That'll be us then. Hello. Hello. Happy noon. Happy noon, everybody, pips. All right, we're over here. We're actually here. We're real. We're in person and all that fine stuff. And let's... Oh, my gosh. Well, apparently we're late to the party. Hello, Sean. Hello, Savannah. Hello, Gilda. Hello, Logan. Hello, Helena. So there you go.
And there you go.
And hello... Oh, God, I can't read all the names on the ticker-top. There's a ton of people. Hello, everybody. I can see Will Robinson. Thank you for joining, Will Robinson.
Oh, Lost in Space.
That's it. Danger! Danger! I could do my, robot thing.
You could. So you probably have never even seen that show.
I saw a clip of it one time, but I've never actually seen the show. That is correct. But I am familiar with that. Danger, Will Robinson!
Well, that's just like me having never seen an episode of Doctor Who, but knowing who a Dalek is.
Oh, Daleks are scary. I tell you the truth. I used to, when I was 6 years old, I used to have to hide behind the settee.
Are you really going to blow your nose?
I'm going to do it quietly because it beats the crap out of me sneezing for the next half hour. So
I see. Well, people.
For those of you who are particularly observant, you can see I can now actually touch my nose with my elbow. It's getting better.
But look how still there's a golf ball on his elbow.
Still a bit. Still a bit owie, but I'm on the mend.
No fun.
I'm on the mend. That's the good thing, isn't it?
Right.
More likes can attract viewers. Keep it up. Well, please like the bejeebers out of us. Punch that like button. Do it all over the place. And I can also see for you guys watching on the Tube of You, there's not enough people press the like button. Could you remedy that immediately? Would you do that? Would you do it for me, please, now? Your country needs you. Anyway, moving on. Hello, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy. All right, so I think I'll put out this caveat that people might want to fashion themselves a tinfoil hat.
Oh, God,
if they're
no.
going to listen to this broadcast today.
Is it an especially lunatic one?
All right, well, I had said in the beginning of the year that this was going to be an exceptionally interesting period of time. And, I've been barking about moving into the age of Aquarius for a while and all that good stuff. Hi, Cass.
Oh, hello, Samaj.
So, Samaj. So definitely you're going to want your tinfoil hat because things are starting to heat up.
May you live in interesting times, eh?
All right. So I'm not going to necessarily make explicit prediction.
Which means she is, probably.
But I will give information and allow you to think about what that could bring forth. What do we got here?
Logan's saying he prefers tinfoil in his food. Why? Don't eat that. That's bad for you. You can wash the tinfoil.
Enjoy a new month. Is it really July?
It is.
I know.
It is. Rabbit. 1st of July already. Could you think of it?
So I looked it up, and because some people say it twice and some people say it 3 times, and then I've seen occasionally people say white rabbit, which is a whole nother thing. But any of those things are superstitions. White rabbit, rabbit, rabbit are all superstition for the first of the month.
Explain it to me. I don't know what that's all
It's
about.
a folkloric superstition for good luck for the month.
If you say rabbit.
On the 1st of each month. Or say it 3 times or say white rabbit.
How does it work?
It's a superstition.
What, pray tell, is a methodology
Well, it's like magic, I suppose. How does it work? Ask me how magic works. I don't know.
Well, yeah, okay.
It's like it's something you believe in that will bring you good luck. So.
But there must have been something there. If you know the answer, if you're a budding historian and know the answer to that question as to where rabbit came from, please chime in. Anyway, moving on.
Right. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the astrology for the first couple of weeks of July, and then as we get further into July, I'll talk about the rest of July because there's just too much going on to talk about it all in one go. We'll be here for several hours. Okay. So the new moon that's taking place on the 5th is going to be at 14 degrees Cancer. So, because I do the tarot scope kind of things.
Oh, I got to put them up.
I know, yeah.
Got a busy day today. All right.
interestingly enough,
Temperance.
is number 14.
Interesting.
And this card could be associated with either Cancer or Sagittarius, depending on how you look at it. So that's very interesting that this new moon is going to be 14 degrees Cancer. So what's interesting about that is the United States moon is 13 degrees Cancer. So the new moon will be conjunct the United States moon. Now, also, we know that the sun will be in Cancer because the new moon is always in the same sign, same degree as the sun. So the sun will be at 14 degrees Cancer, also conjunct the United States moon. And then just to the other side of this equation will be Venus at 22 degrees. Hey, the historian has come up.
Of course, I will keep reading. You keep going.
22 degrees Cancer. And they will trine, which is a harmonious aspect, Saturn at 19 degrees Pisces. So we have this energy of new moon, fresh starts, propelled by the sun, offered the energy of Venus, trining Saturn, lessons, karma, and that sort of thing. So this could offer emotional energy that will help to understand agendas. Perhaps your heart will open to a deeper, more indelible sort of understanding. And there is, because of this configuration of Sun, Moon, Venus, Saturn, there's kind of like a focus on duty, right? What you are compelled to do. Kind of like the beginning of a story, right? If we think about the first branch of the Mabinogi, Puith, who is caution, the first line says, "And it came upon him to go hunting." So his heart kind of dictated to him that he must answer this call of duty.
Call of the wild.
So I think this new moon is going to offer that. Now, we always see it for its many layers, right? It is a very personal thing. It's also happening on my moon, very close to my moon, at 9 degrees Cancer. And it's also happening personally for each of us in a particular house. Mine is in my house of friendships, my 11th house. And you have Cancer rising, so I have to look at the degree.
That's why I can't cry at chick flicks.
Right. But so we're going to have this
Not
call,
a very manly man thing.
this call to duty, this pressing energy personally in a particular place in our chart.
Okay.
And then we're going to see it within our communities and within our country and globally. So because the United States has Cancer moon in the 7th house, which is the house of justice, open enemies, legality, there may very well be a call of duty. And we have to understand that if we don't take action and answer this call for ourselves, there isn't someone else to answer that call.
So what you're saying is sometimes you have to fight your own corner.
Right. So if you neglect to take care of things, if you don't step up, things have a really big chance of getting worse, right? So we really need to have that respect and deeper understanding to get to the justice. Now, what also is very interesting, some of my astrology students can tell us about the planet Jupiter. Wait, yes, I think the United States has
Stellium.
a stellium in Cancer. No, it doesn't. It has a Sag moon. I am sorry. It's going to happen on the United States Sun in the 7th house. I have notes here. The United States has Venus at 3 degrees Cancer, Jupiter at 5 degrees Cancer, Sun at 13 degrees Cancer, and Mercury at 24 degrees Cancer. So there's a shit ton of action going on in that 6th and 7th house, that service to others, work, duty, justice area of the chart. I'm sorry, the Sun is at 13 degrees Cancer, not the moon. I misspoke. I apologize. No, the United States has a Sag moon. That's why we'll always be the
Where are we going to go conking out?
We'll always be. Oh no, the United States, has an Aquarius moon.
What?
Sorry,
Get a
has an
grip
Aquarius
here.
moon in Sag rising. I'm not ready to talk about that yet. You're distracting me.
Oh, it's my fault now.
Well, everybody.
Oh, it's everybody's fault.
I want to go back to Jupiter. Jupiter is the great expander. What else does Jupiter stand for?
Higher thinking.
Higher thinking. Yep. Hi, Anna Marie. I put you on the list.
Noble thoughts, nobility, I think.
Right.
Happiness, joviality.
Higher education. Higher justice. Right? So the 7th house is justice, and Jupiter is higher justice.
More like restorative justice than punitive justice, because that would be like a Saturn thing, the punitive thing.
Right. So there's another trine happening this week and for a while, where Jupiter in Gemini. Right? So let's think about Gemini. Gemini, the reporter. Right? Gemini says, okay, what can we dig out here? What can we tease out here? What can we get them talking about?
Also, what can I spew out?
Supreme justice, yes. And Pluto is going to be trine that Jupiter in Gemini, because Pluto's in Aquarius. So Pluto wants to expose these secrets, right? So there will be like a fueling of this information. And I think it could come quite quickly over this next week, where we get a lot more information than we really expected.
Interesting.
All right.
Stuff going to come out the woodwork.
Stuff may come out. Now,
Stuff's
that's,
come out the woodwork.
Again, so that's this first week of the month. Call to duty, be there, bring your action, take care of yourself, dig deep to understand what this pattern is, what this indelible thing is that you want to discover, expose, bring forward, learn about. Jupiter is the blabbermouth.
Blabbermouth. Can't keep it
Well, it is when it's in Gemini, I think.
Geminis are very mercurial, though, aren't they? That's why they talk so much and flit around. Social butterflies, Geminis.
Now, we know Jupiter never goes more than 2 signs away from the Sun.
Really?
So
It's
shortly,
Venus,
Venus. I'm really not feeling very well. And,
sorry.
I'm doing my best. That's all we can say. All right. Venus never goes more. I'm getting to that, Sean. More than 2 signs from the Sun. And it will be moving from Cancer into Leo before the sun moves into Leo, right? So prior than the sun's Leo parade, we're going to see Venus get there. And when Venus moves into Leo, it will be opposing Pluto. And also, we will see it then in the sky as an evening star. So when Venus is an evening star, it digs even deeper into our emotional understanding, right? If it was diurnal, it would be more of what we see on the outside or show others. But when it's visibly nocturnal, it's kind of more centered towards our inner emotions. And it can offer some emotional clarity, and that Pluto opposition for Venus it is going to, again, expose things that we're trying to hide. Now on to world events.
Oh. Run away.
Okay. 7-11, the sentencing. Mars will be on the orange pukes midheaven that day. So that could go either way, right? Because Mars forces action, violence, those kind of things. Does that, if it's showing it is wishing to reveal some shadow? Venus can help you work through shadow, yes.
Venus tends to illuminate the beautiful things in a situation too, though.
Right,
so
it could
maybe help you restore what is broken.
If there is a way to restore it. All right. So also on the day of the 11th, Mercury will oppose Pluto. So Pluto wants to expose, Pluto wants to create paranoia, Pluto wants to show corruption. And Mercury is the journalistic reporter in charge of flashbacks so that we can, rethink, redo, and all that great stuff. So this configuration on the 11th, Mercury opposed Pluto, could help us see what's really happening a little better. But then let me tell you that what we're going to see, if you think you can't believe what was going on prior,
stick around. Yeah.
Let's think of some words for Mars.
Aggression.
Fast, violent, driven, action, and even accidents. And then let's think of some words for Uranus. Remember, we've said that Uranus was
Chaos, panic, and disorder.
Yeah, chaos, panic, disorder, shock, explosions,
Earthquakes,
and
tidal waves.
it's in charge of revolution. War.
War is right, Logan. Yeah.
So on the 14th, Mars will be at 26 degrees Gemini. And on the 14th, Uranus will be at 26 degrees Gemini, which means that Mars and Uranus on the 14th, and obviously a couple of days before and, a period afterwards, those two characters, Mars and Uranus, are going to work as one. The clown show is, it's being expressed. All right, so we have fast change, violent shock, action, explosions, violent revolution, if we put all those words together. Now this is happening on top of the United States natal Mars in Gemini. And this is happening on top of Israel's sun. And this is happening on the EU's moon. So the world could really be an explosive, crazy place after this sentencing.
I really do worry about the rise of right-wing extremism all
Look what
over
happened in
the
France
world.
this weekend.
All over the world. And the problem is with the far right, they're fundamentalists and they think war fixes anything, and war doesn't fix a goddamn thing. It just kills everybody.
Yeah.
So if you want a chance of like total global annihilation, put the far right in charge.
Well, I'm getting to that.
Rather not heal and love and all that sort of stuff. It's like, how many more people can we kill in the name of peace? Yeah, fighting for peace. It's like screwing for virginity. It doesn't work. Okay.
Where did my note go about
I don't know, but it's interesting times, and it bothers me deeply, to be honest.
All right. So we're definitely going to see this uprising, revolution, drive for freedom, and again, the month will almost be surreal. I'll talk more about the last 2 weeks of the month next time, including the Mercury retrograde that happens towards the last week of the month. It's August 5th, but anyway. So Mars and Uranus, when they collaborate, when they act as one, some interesting things has happened. And in our astrological work, we kind of look when would this happen before, and what did we get from that?
Oh God, I think the rise of Nazi Germany springs to mind here.
All right.
Kristallnacht and all that.
So, when Mars arrived in Taurus, it made a small introduction to Uranus that was sitting in Taurus. Although they were far away, they now occupied the same block, let's say, right? If we look at the houses as spaces, Mars came and said, "Oh, hey, do you see me?" You know when that was? The week of January 6th.
2020.
Yes. All right. Now, the last time they came together, Mars and Uranus, was the week that we launched our nuclear attack during World War II, our first nuclear attack in World War II.
Mine was Nagasaki or Hiroshima, I can't remember.
Whichever one was first. And we know that Pluto is going to retrograde from Aquarius back into Capricorn, and it will pass again over the United States natal Pluto. Well, they would love to, except they can't while they're at war.
That's NATO, but they could join the EU. They
could join the EU, but they can't join NATO.
There are some pretty hard criteria to join the EU, and a stable economy is one of them. So if a country at war can't really have a stable economy, you know.
Right.
But it's the problem is that there's just as many players now want to break apart the EU. In a similar vein, you know, breaking apart NATO. It's all this isolationist. You know, in this country, it's the rise of what you call Christian nationalism. You know, it's not good for us. It's not making a United States a more perfect union. It's a divided states. And the far right is extremely good at polarizing people and spewing hatred and vitriol. And, you know, you can't get anything good from that. You know, it's the antithesis of Avol Ben Bid Bont. You know, he who will be a leader must first be a bridge. The idea is to try and split people apart and have them fight each other. And if you don't think for one moment that our adversaries on a world stage such as China and Russia have got an active hand in this, then you're living under a rock, my friend.
Well, I also think that astrology can predict interesting things. I mean, this configuration of Mars and Uranus is happening also in a place in the heavens that's occupied by an ancient Arabic position or star called Al Ghul.
That's where we get the word ghoulish from, I think.
Yep.
Actually, it's quite a horrific thing.
And the top of Al Ghul is going to affect the whole workings here, and is especially a delicate position for the royal family. So the week of the 14th, we may hear a lot of information regarding the royal family. We might hear things that are very emotional regarding the European Union, and we might have things exposed in Israel. And a ghoul is like a monster. And I really think that there's going to be some real serious difficulties with Russia, Iran, China, bloodshed in the Middle East. There's just, anyway, I could talk to you for 5 hours, but I don't want to upset you all. I just want you to understand that if you can focus on your own call and work on your own heart center,
right,
and be able to send out a higher vibration of energy, of love and understanding, we get that opportunity this week to build that energy that we could send out the following week during the exact hit of this very, very difficult energy of Mars, fast, violent, active drive, hitting change, shock, and revolution. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the United States because the United States has Venus, Jupiter, Sun, and Mercury all in Cancer. And the United States has Saturn in Libra on the midheaven, for those of you who want to know 10th house stuff, and an Aquarian moon and Sag rising. So do your best to brighten the corner where you are. Awareness is important, but
will we find peace in us? You're right. Peace. That's all we can do. That honestly, when faced with absolutely horrendous things, getting angry and trying to stab people doesn't fix a damn thing either.
Well, understand that the United States and the world will also be offered this call. It came upon him to go hunting. It came upon him to resolve this.
Came upon his heart and mind.
It came upon his heart and mind. And that's kind of what's happening with this configuration, right?
We could do with a little tweak right now.
It's saying Sun, Moon, Venus. Sun, Moon, Venus. What I project, what I feel, what I know, and how I'm going to learn these lessons, how I'm going to deal with my karma. This is also coming upon the United States. So the call to action will happen this month. What is going to be done? And, I'll just put it out there that
says it all there, doesn't it, really?
That if one president has complete immunity to overstep their boundaries and their position, then the sitting president also has that same...
But good people don't do that.
Well, they may do things on behalf of good. You never know.
Well,
like declare the Supreme Court to be
I think
the liars that they were during their
I think
hearings.
There needs to be a little bit of an investigation there, because obviously...
all 5 of the bent justices lied during their confirmation hearing to the Senate. So maybe they'll bring action to impeach them.
Who we got first?
Sean.
So it's time. If you're watching on the TikTok, thank you for liking all of our broadcasts. It's wonderful. Our likes help. Send us a donut. If you send us a donut, you can get a reading. All right, because we're going to start doing readings now.
But
all
yes,
right,
we all need to focus. We all need to focus. We all need to focus our energy on peace and understanding. Yes.
All right then. So
Be the light, people.
you got to be the change you want
We've
to see
got to
in the
answer
world.
this call.
Be
All
the
right.
change you want to see in this world.
Card for Sean.
Sean, the Chariot. Dun dun dun. Time for a new card. No, not really. This card indicates to me. I don't know. There's a weird kind of quandary in this card. I mean, it is at both. The Chariot is something that moves very quickly. That's the idea. But the more you look at this Chariot, the more you realise it seems to be hewn out of solid stone, which is not the idea for a really fast vehicle, is it? You know what I'm saying? And there's so much liminality within here,
That's
and
what
so much opposition. Like the speed and then stasis and like twilight. Dusk and dawn and so it's this, for me, it's like resolution of opposition, but this is also the liminal space. It's where anything is possible. You haven't quite got it in the clear light of day yet. It's not defined. It's a sort of like something that's brewing in the hypnagogic sort of area of your existence, but could well spring into being. So this, I don't know. I think there's you're on the verge of some creative work here, I think.
I feel like this is talking about you understanding the liminal more.
There you
and
go.
how to be both in this world and connected to other. I think your transmitter is going to get clearer. And I think you're going to be able to channel.
Oh, hello.
I'm first for Savannah.
Savannah.
All right. It's okay to look forward, but it's also okay to step forward. I feel like some sort of relief is happening that allows you to make some sort of progress that you've been really focused on trying to make.
Yeah, I love this card because it shows the ability to think clean outside the box, which is wonderful, and not be bound, not by restricted by what you think. Oh, I couldn't possibly, or this is too hard, or that's too hard. This is like you've taken the chains off and you've just let it go. There's a lot of untapped potential there, still untapped. But realization of potential. I'm just reminded of this dolmen that stands out. It's just you don't need to know exactly where you're going, but you need to have a rough idea. And if you've got that rough idea and allow yourself to think clean outside of the box, I think you're going to surprise yourself. So there. You
Okay.
right?
Not really.
Oh dear.
Well, after this, I get to go to the doctor. So.
Well, that's lovely, isn't it?
Gilda, you're first.
Gilda. What we got? Oh, procrastination. Why put off today what you can put off tomorrow? I don't know. No, it's it. I think you're being hesitant about doing something, and you're like, I'm sort of reticent to do that, but yeah, maybe I should, but maybe I shouldn't, and only if I had a bit more information, maybe, perhaps if I knew what was going to happen. I'm going to call BS on that, Gilda, because if you look really closely, you can actually see she can see out underneath that blindfold. I'll bring it forward.
I have to look something up.
She has to look it up. Okay, well, there you go. She's getting all carried away. I have to keep talking for half an hour now. So, yeah, you can find yourself in a place where you've got absolutely everything balanced, which is not really ideal. Because that brings you to a place of effectively inaction, you everything is so evenly weighed up that it just
lyrics here in the valley of indecision.
oh dear, she's looking for a song now.
I am.
But see, I'm easily distracted too, so I was trying to listen to what she was saying. So this look, there may be two paths you can go by. But in the words of the prophet Led Zeppelin, you can always change the road you're on. This is not something that you should be stuck, thinking you can't move forward. Make a decision, go with it. And if it transpires that you've made the wrong decision, you can change your bloody mind.
All right. When this card came out, I was thinking of a song by John Lennon, but I couldn't get fast enough to the name of the title of the song, which is I'm Losing You.
Oh dear.
So I feel like this is the pressure around you, Gilda, that is almost making you feel like you're losing yourself. But I'd love for you to look up I'm Losing You by John Lennon, and think about those lyrics. And I think it will help you to get to a place. Oh, look, a rabbit?
I don't know.
What?
Maybe Samaj has got a rabbit outside his window.
I don't know. Gilda, I think that by listening to that song, you'll get some inspiration to make some really important decisions, things you've been sitting on for a while.
So there.
Logan.
You're for Logan.
Logan. On the outside looking in. I think what we recognize about fives is that fives are the challengers. They're the challenges, right? And here we see a poor little match girl and a leper outside of the church. And are they outside of the church because they were forced out there by the congregation? Or are they outside because they don't feel they're worthy of going in?
Here's a thought.
So maybe if they went in, they might find the healing and
Bless you.
support they deserve.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that always jumps out at me on this Five of Pentacles card is the bell around the leper's neck. That's how we know he's a leper, because he's got a bell around his neck. People were that frightened of lepers that lepers were required to wear a bell so people could run away and hide and so never see them. And therefore, if they never saw them, they got obviously no chance of catching leprosy. We now know that's completely maligned. You know, you could probably go and snog that guy full on the face and not get leprosy. So, but fear is a really powerful thing. You know, it makes us do things, and this also you've got to bear in mind. Then who makes him wear that bell? You know, who makes him? Who's on his shoulder, making sure that he doesn't take that bell off ever? Only him, he himself. So be mindful of the badges that you think you know that you have to wear, that you have to conform to what you think society has spread on you, especially the bad stuff. You know, you need to just eschew that and lift your head up and be proud of who you are. We put our own millstones around our necks. You have to realise that. And you may not realise you're banging your head against the wall, but the relief is fantastic when you stop, you know. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of feel the pressure of today's Supreme Court decision, right? We all kind of think, well, you know, they want to beat us down so that we are submissive. But now is not the time to do that. Now is the time to stand to the challenge and go inside. Go inside and understand and bring yourself that healing.
You can only affect change from the inside. You can't affect it from the outside.
So you're first for...
So we must change the Supreme Court.
Helena.
Okay.
You're first.
Got to be this one. The moon.
Ooh.
The moon. Cold-hearted orb that rules the night. I don't know. The moon's interesting. I mean, obviously it's the orb that governs our emotions and how we process things, you know. And sometimes we can get completely the wrong end of the stick and get emotionally drawn into a situation where we probably should be far more circumspect or pragmatic about it. You know, are you allowing the tail to wag the dog, so to speak? Are your emotions throwing you, you know, are you adrift in your sea of emotions? I think is the thing. This reminds me, with all of the noise that everybody's making, baying at the moon, even the crawfish that's come out of the water. I don't know what sound they make, but I'm sure they're making a noise at the moon too. This reminds me that it's important to be still and to listen rather than make a noise. And doing so, it's only in the quietest moments that you hear the most important stuff?
As usual, we are the conflictors.
Of course, but there are two towers.
There are two towers, and I'm going to say that my one word for this card many times is gossip, and I think this is talking about all the conflicting gossip that's going on in your head from spirit that's starting to make you question all kinds of things. So I want you to come out of that spiritual realm and get into a space that's a little more logical, and let yourself solve whatever this issue is in a logical, practical way. I'm not saying abandon spirit, but I just think that there are too many conflicting opinions. So in a sense, it was like what he was saying.
Only different.
But I'm saying, let's get logical, let's get real, and let's step away from all those energies that are trying to bombard you.
Be still.
Cass!
What fun. Oh, that doesn't suck.
Cass, this looks like a really good time for friendships, social life, family, interacting. I just feel like getting your life back. Getting your life back. Being able to make plans that work out.
Yeah, this is a really good card. There's no two ways about it. It really is. The Ten of Cups. It's the quintessential happy existence, so to speak. Everything is copacetic and wonderful. Obviously, everybody's idea of copacetic and wonderful varies. It isn't, necessarily 2.4 children and a husband and a Ford Cortina in the garage. It's various things to various people. But this does indicate to me that you will be happy and content if you allow yourself. That's the thing. You've got to embrace it. Notice that rainbow. You can't have rainbows without rain, So embrace, accept, and move forwards. I think that would be the thing. Right. You are allowed to be happy. You are.
You're first for Samaj.
Samaj! Got to be this one. Ha ha! Did I mention fear? I love this. This is probably the singularly most maligned card in the Zodiac.
I know what this is about.
We know. Oh, she knows what it's about. I'll shut the chuff up then. But this actually shows Inception to me as well. It's like the lightning flash coming down, setting fire to the tail here. And we become the exalted prisoner. But this is spirit moving into flesh. But it's also something that was an idea coming into a reality. And it has that ability to do that. Because the upside down pentagram on his head indicates spirit coming in, coming down.
An initiation of sorts.
An initiation of sorts, exactly.
Hi, Bibi. So this is about your Saturn return, not your Satan return. Haha. And I know we were talking a little bit about how the Saturn is going to be retrograde for a period, and that is awesome because it's like double energy to redo, rework, re-understand, and get the show on the road, so to speak. So take that initiation, have the courage, take the step, and let yourself be open to all that wants to come to you while you're seated in the chair of Saturn.
Indeed. There you go.
I'm first for Anna Marie.
Anna Marie, how you doing?
Justice is sort of being served, Bannon had to report today, so.
Yeah.
Anna Marie.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow.
Control. I want you to recognize that this sword is double-edged. One side is silver and one side is blue. And I think that is a way of trying to say, control the things that you can control and accept that you may not be able to control some of the other things, but you can be aware of them, right? So the blue says we can be aware, we can heal, we can talk, we can express, we can create, but we may not be able to control. And the white or silver side says, this is what I preside over. This is what I have the energy to control. So be aware of what you can control and what you can't. Oh, so Amber, I'm going to put Amber and Laura
So this to me, Anne-Marie, although our readings are...
Yeah, that's Amber's.
Oh, okay. Even there's a slight delay in the force there, I don't know. So even though our readings are similar and different, I feel that this is very much about wresting back the sword of control here. That you are not a passenger in your life, that you sometimes allow events to buoy you along and you go with the flow, but you need to perhaps sometimes swim against the stream and really sort of wrest back the sword of control and bring yourself back in control of your life. Things can get on top of us, and I'm human too. This last few days, and probably nearly 2 weeks now, I've been a bit beat up physically because of a medical condition, and honestly I felt quite down. I felt like unmotivated and just unable to do stuff, but that ain't fixing anything, is it? Ultimately we've got to dig deep and we've got to find our hero within us, and
if we're not our own hero,
nobody's coming to the rescue.
The hero.
Be sure of that. Nobody's coming to the rescue. When are they going to do something about that? The they. Who the hell's they? You're here too. You don't like it, do something about it. Vote.
Well, that's definitely that squeezed up energy we have now.
You've done it, yeah?
All right,
okay.
So you're first for Amber.
Could you shuffle them up? I'm sorry, because it's still the manky elbow a bit. Apparently that's what she planned to do this week. Get back in control. Good. Hey.
Amber.
That'll do, yeah. Again, you can be happy. But realise that your happiness lies within. It doesn't look outside. I think sometimes you look outside of yourself to try and find the happiness, which is a little unfortunate, because if you don't find it within you, you're never going to find it without you. So realise that happiness is a choice, and it's how you react to events and circumstances around you. Whether you choose to see it as, something positive or something negative, and how we see things affects our reality. Seriously, our perspective is indeed our reality.
I feel like there's a real focus on family right now, and trying to get things organized. I don't know, I think things might be a little bit overwhelming, and it's time to kind of regroup. And when two people have two children, there's like a one-on-one thing. And when two people have 3 children, the ratio can be a little overwhelming. So I feel like there's a real focus on family and trying to bring things back into a less overwhelming situation. So maybe you could get a grandparent or outside help to kind of bring things back into balance and let you get back on your feet.
So there.
All right.
I think we have Laura.
I'm first for Laura, yeah.
Okay, and guys, if you're watching on I see lots of people asking questions on the Tick of Talk. If you want a reading on the Tick of Talk, you need to send us a donut. Just one donut. That's all we ask for. So,
Laura.
I'll do.
This is, it's a really interesting card because she is sitting on a millstone in front of this barley. So she understands the sustenance and like the bread of life. She is the bread basket kind of thing. So I feel like your focus is on stabilizing, right? Stabilizing and feeding your soul. So think about where you're at, what you're doing, and how you could do it in a way that brings you that pillow of strength to lean on.
This is actually a card full of great fertility and fecundity, if I can even say it in English. I do apologise. But it does remind us that something has to give for others to benefit. That wheat is not going to make it through the millstone unscathed.
And somebody has to help pick it. And,
But wheat or rye would not exist without our cultivation. So there's a kind of bizarre symbiosis going on there. We give it life to kill it, if that makes sense. But it reminds us of the cycle of everything, that everything is cyclical, that, day follows night, follows day, follows night, and that is the way things go. And I think sometimes we struggle unnecessarily against things of which we have no agency and can have no agency. You can't stop growing old. You can't stop, the passage of time. But you can make great use of that. And the Venus there means wherever you are. It reminds me of the Sephiroth of Tipperith, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So, you walk in beauty, there, you can get anywhere from there. But the essence is to do it with grace and with a lightness of step, and tread gently on the ground and be mindful of the footsteps you take. And in a world where you can be absolutely anything, be kind. That's so important. So there.
Yeah, there's a big focus on third eye with all this Cancerian stuff. Cancer energy is linked to the moon, which is linked to third eye. So I think we all have to kind of dig a little deeper and go inside and do some healing and get ourselves ready for that call to action.
There's lots bringing us down.
I
right
know,
now,
and I just wish there's lots bringing us down. Yeah. I just wish I had some more time because, so many people think that their vote is just for the president, right?
Not.
And it's for the president and his entire team, right? His cabinet, and some of us who are trying to help others understand what their vote is, 40 of the 44 members of Trump's team, including his vice president, will not endorse him. That tells you a lot about how he treated them and how he expected them to do their job and treat others. When we look to his list of senior advisors, Ivanka and Jared Kushner, 2 of the 4 senior advisors to the presidency. That's crazy. And neither of them would have passed, well, including Trump, wouldn't have passed his Secret Service.
Positive vetting, yeah. No.
Yeah. But
present
right
a very
down
real
to
security risk to this country.
Secretary of State, Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Transportation, all of those people were anyway. But let's even just think about Secretary, the press secretary, right? Sean Spicer, the first press secretary, gets out there and the first thing he does is lie about how big the inaugural crowd, right? Then Sarah Huckabee Sanders. What the hell?
Stop.
Grissom.
Stop.
Doesn't give a press.
Never. Not one.
Not one. It's supposed to be daily press briefing. In her entire tenure, she doesn't give any briefings. And then you've got McEnany and Conway with their alternative facts. It's nuts.
Yeah, we have alternative facts. No, they're called lies.
It's just nuts.
If they're not factual, they're lies.
I don't know how people can't see this. I really
don't. There's non-sublimed who will not see, because, Trump.
All right.
Sorry.
Our card for the week now. Can you see that we're just a little bit stressed out about this? I wish I had more time because I would write up who were these people in the Trump administration and who are these people in the Biden administration and what was their execution of the job given to them, right? Like Biden's Secretary of the Interior, I think, person who's in charge of environmental things, is a female Native American Indian.
Well, that's good.
Versus a guy who was in charge of, who was bought because he was big oil.
What about the space lasers? Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
them space
that's
lasers.
That's not.
Oh, hold on, we have to do something here.
Oh, you're gonna burn your arm.
Okay. I'll have to
That's
do
not
this.
Trump's cabinet. But yeah. All right, our card of the week is.
Card of the week. Wheel of Fortune. Spin the wheel, round it goes. Where it lands, no one knows.
All right. Rota, Tarot, Torah, bringing forth the energy of all the elements to bring us a good spin. Yeah? A good spin. We need a little luck.
Well,
I also think that this helps us to understand our Adenrod connections. As above, so below.
Adenrod. Yes, indeed. This is kind of interesting, and it's really bizarre, and I don't know what kind of weird synchronicities are going on in my head, but there's the round tower in Denmark, for whatever reason, jumped into my head. And it's got 7.5 helical turns of a horse and cart ramp that goes up the inside of this tower. And there's an astronomical observatory on the top. And this was built around the time when, again, the church had got its finger in astronomy. They wanted to know about these sort of things. And you couldn't get into university unless you were a man of the cloth. So this whole kind of thing, this control of people and control of information, control of how information is presented, is and it's funny you were talking about press secretaries. It's like if you can see everything, and you've got you're capable of actually figuring it out if you've got all that information. Now there are some people you can present clear information to, and they will come up with
Alternative facts.
cognitive dissonance, I think is the word they call that there, where they come to completely the wrong conclusion based on the evidence in front of them because they've never been taught critical thinking, which is a little bit of an issue. But we, in our job as hokey tour guides, raising witches, we try to teach people critical thinking, to be able to look at things. We don't just want to give somebody, here's a map to get out of this particular forest.
All you have to do is learn how to read it.
Yeah, we want to give you the ability to make your own map, draw your own map from what information you've got. Climb a tree, see how you can scan the horizon, all that fun stuff. So this card, Wheel of Fortune, it's not down to fate. A lot of times we say it is, it's my lot in life. It isn't, You have this sort of control here, right in your hand. Yeah, there's some tricky tricksters trying to slow down the wheel or turn it in the opposite way or hanging off it.
Well, this blue and red is also very alchemical, very reminiscent of the hanged man's position.
True, but
has to think it through.
They're trying to stop the wheel with their butt cheeks, and you've got a bloody sword here. So just think about that for a second. Participate. What is it they say? Democracy. The world is run by those who could be bothered to show up. You must participate in your life. You must not be a passenger. You mustn't allow events just to carry you along and bitch about it. Yeah? It's up to you to change it, to affect the change you want to see in the world. And you start with you, because that's the only thing you can change. But when you change, just like an algebraic equation, where the value of x changes, so must the value of y. So bear that in mind, all right? It's how you see things. How you see things is hugely important on whether you think you can or you can't.
Right, each of these elements has a different perspective on the wheel.
And they're all fixed. Yahweh Vadwe, the name of God in the heavens, which, curious enough, is on the round tower. That's actually on the inscription on the side of it. So this is kind of like, it made me think. I had to do a double take there. I do that sometimes.
Well, we've got Mercury in the flashback position now, so...
I like to wander off and see what's going on here.
All right.
But thank you.
Embrace. Answer the call.
Answer the call.
These next 2 weeks, work on getting to the depth of understanding of yourself, your soul, your shadow, and use that to find inspiration and love and energy that you can put out into the world for peace and happiness.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Be the change you want to see in the world, in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, Be that change. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch us, Please do like, subscribe, share, whatever it is that you do to make us less of a well-kept secret, because we need you.
And karma points came out again today.
Karma points
so...
should have, if you're on our text thing, you would have received your little email.
Alrighty.
Jesus loves you. He doesn't want you to do this anymore. Repent. Oh, you're a mouthpiece for Jesus. Nice. Well done. Good. Glad you can speak for him.
Will fall.
The falsehood will collapse under the weight
will collapse
of itself.
under its own weight.
Have a wonderful day, everybody. We love you guys. All right. See you soon. Bye.
Jesus loves you.
Yeah. Rest of the world thinks you're a jerk. We love you guys.
Bye.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Oh, God. Too funny.